The following was made possible through the generous support of Lon Airlines.
Previously on Hit and Run History.
An American cannon scored a direct hit on a British whaleboat.
Robert Haswell was the son of a loyalist. He is our narrator. He writes the log of the Columbia.
Early on Monday morning, we weighed and came to sail, and by sunrise we're out of the harbor.
He was never on Kendrick's side, and you can't really trust anything he would have written.
Captain, back then, is very often times called master, the one who has all the control.
Pulls out his sword.
Saying the captain screwed up is never a popular way to move ahead.
Robert Haswell's complaining already.
People get a little squirrely. It's 85 feet, and that's your world.
He sounds like a kid, you know. Are we there yet?
Am I really going to read all this nautical stuff?
It can get very unpleasant.
We now pursued our course southward with far more speed than we had done on the other passage, but with far less than might be expected, considering how late we were in our season. We had on the 6th arrived in latitude 3 degrees 50 minutes south and longitude 32 degrees 13 minutes west when we saw the island Ferdinando de Noronha. The weather was clear and pleasant and the wind moderate and commanding. Ferdinand de Noronha, it is said, is inhabited by a number of Portuguese convicts. Its appearance is very remarkable, having one steep mountain or peak on its middle, which may be seen at a very great distance. It lies so near the equator that there is but little probability of there being much refreshment found here, especially as in every part of it looks steep and craggy. The weather was now pleasant with frequent showers of rain. Every event now immaterial little work was done. The people encouraged to disobey the command of their officers, and continually intoxicated with liquor delivered them by Captain Kendrick's orders. Captain Gray and Mr. Coolidge came on board, and dined with us in the afternoon. Captain Kendrick several times ordered the people aft, as they did not immediately come. I went to the main hatchway and ordered several of them on deck. Among the rest was John Liscombe, one of the seamen. I left the place finding he did not come as I directed. I returned and repeated the orders when he bluntly told me he would not come. Irritated by the disobedience of my orders, I immediately jumped down the hatchway, colored the fellow, and attempted to drag him up. However, he so positively resisted that I found it impossible. He used such scurrilous language that at length I was provoked to strike him a blow with my fist that instantly covered him with blood. The noise between decks drew the other officers to see the occasion of it. Mr. Ingram, the chief mate, took this opportunity, I fear, to make the affair as unfavorable on my side as possible in the sight of Captain Kendrick. This was by no means an excuse for the outrageous manner in which he afterward behaved. It could have been influenced by nothing else but a fear of offending his people. Or perhaps, as is most probable, his wish to elevate his son to the situation of second mate.
Gray and Coolidge come over from the Lady Washington to have dinner on Columbia. Kendrick says he wants all the men up on deck, and Haswell goes and gets them out of there. One of them won't come, and that's Otis Liscombe, who he calls John Liscombe. He resists. He tries to pull him up by the collar. Liscombe says he's not going to come, uses all sorts of horrible language, and finally he hits him in the face, bloodies his nose probably, covers him in blood, he says. And at that point, all the other officers come, including Joseph Ingraham, who's the first officer of the Columbia. And he, according to Haswell, makes Haswell look very bad to Captain Kendrick.
Be that as it may, he no sooner saw me than with language too horrid to be repeated, he ordered me off the quarterdeck and had the amazing assurance to even strike me several times, a liberty which perhaps he dare not have taken had he been on equal ground and not been in the ship he commanded. Nay, he protested with horrible oaths that if he ever saw me on the quarterdeck again, he would blow my brains out with a pistol, and charge his people in that case to knock me down with a handspike.
He refused me the use of my stateroom, and it was immediately occupied by Mr. Howe, the captain's clerk.
Jackass.
So Kendrick starts yelling at Haswell and says, if I ever see you on my quarterdeck again, I'll blast your brains out. And any other man who sees him up there, including the crew, is supposed to hit him in the face, so knock him down with a handspike. And at that point, really, although Haswell doesn't say this, when he's kicked out of his cabin by Kendrick, he's really just made a member of the crew. He never says that, but he's pretty much demoted to lowly, able-bodied seaman. But he kind of omits that. But that's a big, big blow from going from second officer to regular person.
I was fully convinced that so frequent as the quarrels had been between Captain Kendrick and his officers, that I should not be the only person exempt. And I found it a mark of the sound penetration my friend Mr. Woodruff, who told me it was his opinion that the brutal and unofficer-like behavior of the captain would not extend to only him, but to every other person in the ship. I now cheered myself with hopes that in a few days we should fall in with European or American whalesmen, in whose vessels I might procure passage back.
I directly wrote to Kendrick to obtain my discharge, which he by a verbal message granted, and informed me that I should have it on the first vessel I saw. With diligence I continually looked out for the much-wished vessel, but to my great mortification saw none. I had still great hopes of seeing some vessel at the Falkland Islands.
So here on the Falkland Islands was his last opportunity. Haswell was looking out for an American whale ship. He said that he had gotten permission from Kendrick to sign on to another ship if they came along during that time. And the Falklands represented his last opportunity before Cape Horn, which was the point of no return.